Today is a very special episode, and today's an episode that I've been excited about recording because it's something that I see that's just destroying people's self-worth, destroying people's self-esteem, and destroying people's confidence in life. So today, I want to talk to the part of you that feels invisible, to the version of you that walks into a room and immediately scans for signs that you don't belong, that overthinks every single text message, email, WhatsApp, social media interaction, whatever it is, that assumes that silence means rejection, that feels like no one actually respects you at all, and maybe they never really have. This one's for you, man. This is the podcast that at moments in my life I wish someone had given to me, but I'm going to caveat all of that by saying that there are moments of this that might sting a little bit. There are moments of this where you might be really tempted to judge yourself or make an opinion or be angry at yourself or just have some frustration. That's okay. It's going to be a bit of a sting. I promise it's said with nothing but compassion because I've been there. And sometimes I go back. Things happen in my career and I start comparing myself, or I start finding meaning in situations and behaviors that are just not there. And I know what it feels like when you're convinced that you're the only one who nobody sees, that you put in an unspeakable amount of effort and you get very little back. And you can't help but feel that's because you're not good enough or that you don't matter. So that's why I'm really excited about this episode, because there's some things that I have learned over time that have really helped me. We'll start with the assumption. And what is the assumption? The assumption is that, I suppose, when we get right down to the baseline, the bedrock, it's that no one respects you. If you find yourself assuming that people don't respect you or care about you, it's usually not about them. It's actually about you. Now, that might annoy you. You might go, how the hell does that work? But 1 second, this is good because it means that you can step back in the driver's seat, cautiously perhaps, but it means that you have some autonomy, some control, some way forward. You're no longer in the passenger seat or the back seat or the boot. You're now back in the driver's seat. You might not have started the car yet, but you can. You see, it's usually not about them, it's about you, or more specifically, it's about what happened to you. That voice in your head that says, they don't care about me, or they're just being polite, is probably the echo of someone who made you feel unseen or unworthy a very long time ago. Maybe you were a kid who didn't get noticed unless you were in trouble. Maybe you were the one always giving and never receiving. Maybe you had to earn love, prove yourself, or be useful in some way to feel accepted. So now, as an adult, when someone does care about you, you question it. You look at it with suspicion. You start pulling it apart and asking yourself questions that are inevitably only going to lead one direction. And it's never really that good. When someone respects you, you downplay it. When someone is neutral, you read it as rejection. Now, I want you to know something. You are not weak. You are not paranoid. You are protecting yourself from the pain you know too well. But that protection is costing you connection. So where does it all come from? What do we do about it? Well, let's get to it. Because here's the truth that most people avoid. You're like, oh man, how many minutes are we in now? 5 and we're hitting the truth. Yep. Okay. There's only ever one place to resolution and solution in this, looking at it through truthful eyes. You have to see what's really there. And I know that our egos are fragile and the way we see ourselves is built on a stack of cards. It's very fragile, but truth will set you free. God, that sounds so cliche. But if you believe people don't respect or care about you, there's a good chance that you don't. You don't speak to yourself with respect. You don't give yourself the benefit of the doubt. You don't stand up for yourself in your own mind. And considering all of this is happening in your own head, then I guess it's on you to stand up to yourself. There's a bully walking around in your head who wants to tear you down, but it's up to you to defend yourself through practice, through learning, through observing, through not judging, not becoming the bully in order to come up against the bully. You've got to be better than. See, the thing is, you're projecting that inner disrespect outwardly. You think, if I don't believe in me, why would anyone else? And you start teaching people how to treat you. They're taking their cues from you. They're watching everything about you. They're taking in every part of you and they're taking their cues. This is what we do. When we first meet somebody, we scan them. We start to make an opinion about them or judgment, or we start to observe them and we start to compare and go for a little log in our head of people that are like them so that we can start to find some sort of safe way to understand who they might be or who they could be. We don't make that opinion solid, but it's a guiding force, decides whether or how we speak to somebody. So you're projecting this disrespect outwards and you think that you don't believe in you, so why would anybody else? This is what psychologists refer to as a core belief. And the thing about core beliefs is they don't just sit there being core beliefs, they filter everything, absolutely everything. Someone doesn't reply to your text message, it means they don't care. They don't care. Yeah, I've seen they've read it. I've seen the blue ticks. They've read it. They just don't care about me. And then this whole story starts to get developed about what it all means. And you start thinking about reasons why they wouldn't reply. What have you done to offend them? Maybe it was that thing I said. Maybe it was that thing I did. Maybe it's that thing I didn't do or didn't say. Oh, no. Yeah, recognize that, right? Someone's distant with you must mean they're pulling away. Refer back to what I just said. Must be that thing I did, that thing I didn't do, blah, blah, blah. All of them things. Someone praises you. You dismiss it because it doesn't fit the story that you're telling yourself. The story being, I'm not worth caring about. So someone praises you and you're immediately waiting for the thing they want. Or you start thinking, what are they up to? Look, if you look hard enough, you're going to find faults. You're going to find things you don't like because we're all human. It's just the way it is. This story, that story, I'm not worth caring about. That's what needs to die. But you can't kill it with toxic positivity. You can't do that. You kill it by building a new one brick at a time. We have to build a new story. We have to rewrite the script. Okay, Johnny, great. That sounds like a really good idea. How? That's all right. I gotcha. That's fine. Let me give you some tools, some stuff that really helped me. The first one is this: reality testing. Next time you feel dismissed or disrespected or rejected, just stop a minute. Take a moment to pause and recognize that you feel dismissed, you feel disrespected, you feel rejected, and just stop. And ask yourself a few questions. Let's start with this one. What actual proof do I have? Really go in there like a detective. What proof do I have that I'm being dismissed? What proof do I have that I'm being disrespected? What proof do I have that this is rejection? Good questions. Could there be another explanation? So now you're looking for the proof and you might find something that you can grab onto. So could there be another explanation? That's one. Could there be another one? Could there be something else going on here? Could it be that what they said they actually meant? Maybe they didn't have time, or they couldn't focus on this thing right now, or can they get back to you actually meant can they get back to you? And then the last question, have I clearly communicated my needs or just expecting them to read my mind? See, because often we punish people for failing a test that they never knew that they was even taking. I know there's some people giggling there going, shoot, I do that. Tool 2, track the truth. Again, you know me, you must have got the theme by now that I'm all about the truth. So you're going to start tracking the truth. So start a proof of respect note in your phone. Yeah, call it whatever you like. I would call it proof of respect because that's what it's all about. This is it. You don't think people respect you. So now you're going to look for that evidence that they do. And don't look for massive grand gestures. Small stuff, just little signs that people respect you. Proof of respect. Every time someone shows care, encouragement or praise, write it down. Honestly, please do that. Write it down in your phone. Just write down the little things they do, no matter what the source is, no matter what was said, no matter how small, how big, how vague, whatever, just write it down. When anyone cares for you, encourages you or praises you, write it down. And this is not to feed your ego. This is to correct the distortion in your mind, because that's what's going on. There's a distortion in your mind. You've adopted this way of looking at yourself, and it's been well practiced and to the point that it becomes that well-trodden path in a field. And this is the thing, right? We have the farmer's field, let's say, for example, and there's a path that goes right through the middle of the field. It's well trodden, there's loads of space, it's nice and flat. You're walking down that path because it's nice and clear and clean and easy. But what if that path doesn't take you where you want to go? What if at the end of it, you're in the wrong side of the field, you're in the wrong area, you don't want to be there? Well, that must mean that you've got to make yourself a new path. But Johnny, there's loads of thorns and brambles and potholes, and it means it's going to be hard work and I'm going to get scratched and stung and it's going to be painful and uncomfortable. Yeah. But at least it takes you where you want to go. See, because you've got this distortion in your mind this reality that's not real, this thing, this truth that's not true, this lie that no one respects you and that you're not worth respect when you are. So we need to correct that distortion by creating a proof of respect note in your phone so that when that little part of you starts shouting loud, you've got this actual written evidence of real events that have happened to you, things that have been said, things that have been done, things that have happened in your life, instead of this belief system that's shouting really loudly. So again, it's not to feed your ego, it's to correct the distortion in your mind. This next tool, I can already hear probably the blokes going, oh, here we go. Inner child stuff. Okay, let's not use the word inner child. Let's talk to the younger version of yourself. Still inner child, right? But never mind, we're trying here. So talk to the child in you, because that's who's screaming. We have this thing, right, where we think that when we're children, for some reason, we're not human, that we don't have emotions, and that the things that we do, think, say, experience don't matter. But they are the things that shape us as adults. We have an 18th birthday, and on our when we're 17 and however many days, we're a child, and then the next day we're an adult. Or at least that's the way it is in the UK. But yeah, what is there some sort of like test that I'm supposed to take? How do I know I'm an adult? I feel exactly the same way I did yesterday. You see, there's no real transition for most people from becoming a child to becoming an adult. We're just told we're adults, and then we go, oh, okay, we're adults, so we must know all this stuff, right? Because we're allowed to do all these things. But actually, we're by and by the same. It's just that we have these adult scenarios and these adult situations that we have to navigate. So it's that child version of us that's screaming all the time, that's telling us what things mean, that's saying, oh, this is that thing going on that dad used to do, or that thing going on that my uncle used to say, or my nan used to criticize, or that school teacher used to constantly do, or not getting picked for sports and everybody laughing at me because I couldn't kick a football straight. Okay, Johnny, it's coming out now. Back up. My friends used to call me a spooner, which means that whenever I kicked a ball, it just never went the direction it was supposed to. I recently played a game of football. Actually, that's a stretch. I recently kicked a ball with some friends, and I kicked the ball twice and I hit 2 children. I mean, what? How does that even happen? It does to me. I cannot play football. It's ridiculous. Anyway, I'll move on. So we're going to talk to that child in you, because that's the version of you that's screaming. The child who learned they weren't enough. They learned it. Doesn't make it true. They learned it. There was people around there that was teaching them that. So what we're going to do is we're going to write them a letter. I can hear you now saying, I'm not doing that, Johnny. Okay, don't. But I'm telling you, it works. That moment you sit down with a blank piece of paper and you can write anything you want, but you're writing to yourself. You're writing to those emotions, those meanings, those experiences that you had as a child, and you're correcting them. You're saying, now I'm an adult, I see things differently. When they said this, they were trying to protect me. When they said this, they were scared of something. Whatever it is, you're going to write to that version of yourself, and you're going to sit with them. You're going to let them know that you see them now. There are some people in life, they walk around with these emotional bags, and they put them down and they look at you awkwardly. They create an awkwardness that's so overwhelming and so uncomfortable that you just pick up the emotional bags and you skip off with them. And then weeks, months, years later, you wonder why you're feeling your distress and discomfort. Well, it's because you picked up the bags. Whatever people project onto you doesn't have to become the way you see the world. Let them know that you see them now. Let that little version of you know that you see them now, and that's what's important. And that you're going to reparent yourself. You're going to start changing up those rules. I've said it before in this. These thoughts, these beliefs, they are not facts. Facts are by and by unchangeable. Beliefs, they can change. Thoughts, they evolve. You can think one thing one day, you get new information, and you change what you think. That's the way it works. But lastly, and most importantly, you need to let yourself know that you won't abandon that version of you, perhaps like others did in the past. You're going to sit with them, you're going to comfort them, you're going to reassure them, and then you're going to use your evidence, and you're going to make sure that that little version of you has some sort of solid base to practice new behavior from. Because that's what we're going to need to do. We're going to need to practice new behavior. And that word practice is important. I'll say it a lot in every podcast probably, because practicing removes that pressure of perfection. Tool number 4, offer what you crave. Show others the very thing you want. Do that by respecting other people, acknowledging other people. There's this situation that I often see people in, and I've been in myself many times, where you've got people in your life that are really putting in the effort. They're really trying, they're messaging you, they're trying to get together, they're trying to do all these things, and you're just completely ignoring them. And you're focusing all your time and attention on the people that are ignoring you, that aren't bothered, that are constantly not getting back to you and forgetting about you. And you keep going back to that well. That well's dry. How about you go to the wells that aren't? The ones that are trying, the ones that are messaging you, the ones that are putting in effort. Because that's what you'll find when you need, more than likely. So show others the very thing you want. Respect them, acknowledge them. You'll see something powerful happen. And this is the magic in life. People mirror how we treat ourselves and how we treat others. So when we walk around treating ourselves with respect, people mirror it. When we go around treating other people with respect, they very often mirror it. So when you start walking like someone who matters, people respond to that energy. They respond to it because you're putting out there something that they can go, okay, wait a second, this person walks different and they talk different. They're holding their shoulders back. Whatever it is that you're doing. They're making eye contact. They've got a firm handshake. People notice these things, even if they don't acknowledge them in the moment. They feel it. They embody it. It says something. It creates presence. See, because here's the hard truth at the end of it all. And let me be brutally honest with you. You're like, have you ever been any other way, Johnny? Well, okay. Fair play. If you keep waiting for everyone to prove they care before you start believing that you matter, you might be waiting your whole life. It has to start here. It has to start inside you and with you. Your respect for yourself sets the tone for how the world engages with you. Your boundaries, your self-talk, your posture, your presence. This isn't about becoming arrogant or emotionally bulletproof in any way. It's about saying, I may have been overlooked, dismissed, rejected, or misunderstood in the past, but I'm not letting that define me anymore. You're drawing a line in the sand and you're saying, that's it. That's enough. When I step over this line is a new version of me. And that I'm going to uphold my boundaries. I'm going to harness my self-talk. I'm going to hold myself with a good posture, and I'm going to create the presence that I want people to respond to, because we achieve this by demanding respect and not accepting disrespect. You're not broken, you're not invisible, and you're just running software written by old wounds. And now you get to rewrite that code. But if this has hit something deep, I want to say this clearly. You're not unlovable. You are not too much. You are not hard to care about. You're just carrying pain that was never meant to be yours in the first place. But now you have the power to do something different with it. So today, start small, speak to yourself with respect, track the love that's already around you. Don't run from the pain, learn its language. And remember, that version of you that thinks no one cares, they were doing their best to survive. But survival isn't the goal anymore. Now it's time to live. If this episode resonated with you, share it with someone who you feel might need to hear it, because there are plenty of people out there, unfortunately, that do. So I'd love you to leave a review or comment or wherever you're listening. I'd love you to share it with friends. Tell a friend. Just tell one friend. Just do that for me. Just tell one friend about this podcast. Ask them to listen to it. Find your favorite episode. Fire it over to them on WhatsApp. And let's see what happens, because I'm trying to grow this podcast. I really believe in what I'm doing. And for those that are listening, I hope you do too. And I hope it helps more people find the truth about themselves. And if you're looking for that raw, honest self-development, stick around. We are just getting started with more episodes coming, as you know. So take care of yourself. You matter way more than you think. And remember, live your morals, chase your ambitions, know what drives you, and create an environment that supports who you want to be. Thank you for listening to the Johnny Lawrence podcast, and I'll see you again next week for another episode.